What's up, everybody? This is Devon White, linebacker for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to the LCC Network. Go Bucks.
Hey everyone, welcome to Commissioner's Clubhouse and the LCC Network for Week 7 of the 2021 season. And as I started, we literally lost Mafali, so hopefully he'll rejoin us here any moment. But in the meantime, I do have Jordan on the show. He has returned. He is done with baseball, he said. He's done with the Braves. And I think you said you're a Mariners fan now, right?
No, unfortunately, I'm watching the Braves as we record, but go Braves.
Sorry about that. Oh, man.
It's okay. We'll get it done.
Have you heard from Afala yet, by the way?
I'm trying to redial him on this to see if he answers. I don't know what happened.
Forewarn him.
We're
mid-record right now. But, yeah, so as Jordan's watching the Braves game, I am watching App State and Coastal in a shootout. App State just scored, as I said that, actually. That's interesting. So, that's totally relevant, though, to our Week 7 episode, though, because we've got some good matchups. We have some matchups that are a little bit irrelevant. We're just going to talk about them because it's the Commissioner's Clubhouse. And we got our game of the week, and we've got our news and notes and all that. And funny enough, Mafali was going to lead part of this segment. So I guess in the meantime, we can start out with our first announcement. Not so much of an announcement as it is just a reminder. If you have not already subscribed to our other podcasts on the LCC Network, LCC After Dark on Spotify, do so. Listen in. It is a great podcast we've got going. And it's and they've dubbed this themselves the less serious version of the Commissioner's Clubhouse, which is cool. So the content's not the same as this. In fact, they do some really neat stuff when they're like upset of the week, that type of stuff. So definitely take a look at it. I used to say that theirs was longer running than ours in terms of like runtime per episode, but not anymore. Somehow we've managed to turn our podcast into like a 60-minute plus show almost every night now this season. So who knows? Maybe we'll get back to 30 minutes, but no one's complaining, so why change it up? But I think Mafali has joined us back.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah, give them what they want.
Yes, my laptop always disconnects from my Wi-Fi because it's a shitty laptop. So
hey,
it always happens at the worst time too. I thought it happened again. I thought we were just like waiting for you to do something. Then I looked and I was like, it's been like a minute now. Then I looked and I saw Jordan's text but I'm back now. So
yeah, good thing we all got it straight.
And let's get this on the road because I know Jordan's got places to be.
That's right.
Yeah,
things to do.
Yeah,
very important guy.
He's a Mariners fan, so he's got to watch. He's got to get ready for next season. But Mafali, all we've done is talked about LCC After Dark. So if you want, I'll let you take over the trade segment now.
Yeah. So let me start by telling everybody that our trade deadline for the LCC is October 28th. So that's about 8 days away, 7 if you end up listening on Thursday morning a week. So how we're going to do this is the trade deadline will be at 12 a.m., midnight for Thursday. So on October 28th at 12 a.m., that'll be the last time you can officially accept a trade. But counters will be able to go down in that, that span until Sunday when the games start. But anything after that, has to be processed by game time Sunday, or else it would be considered a next week trade, which wouldn't be able to go through. So I know that's a little bit confusing, but, you guys got to get your trades in and accepted officially by October 28th at midnight. You can still make some counters, but they pretty much have to be done by about Saturday at about, 1 o'clock because they'd have to process by game time Sunday. So, be on top of that. Don't say that, there's some excuse if something doesn't go through. You know what the deal is. So, but yeah, speaking of trades, we had a huge week of trades. We'll try to make this one quick because there were so many of them. The first one is just like, who cares? It was Micah Hyde for Shaq Barrett. Little trade, wasn't really big, nothing crazy to talk about.
Hunter got his pass rush.
What was that, Jordan?
Hunter got his pass rush on that.
Yeah, no, Shaq Barrett is a good one. I feel like, CJ wasn't too aware of how valuable having a good DN like that was compared to just having like a mid-level safety.
Yeah.
But he eventually ended up getting some picks back for that, some mid-round picks. They ended up swapping back a 4th and a 6th for Micah. So basically he got a 4th and a 6th for Barrett, which still wasn't great value. But at that point, he was kind of stuck in the trade anyway, so he just wanted to get something back. And I guess he wasn't getting any counters for Barrett, which was a little surprising to me because Barrett is a great pass rusher. But so the next trade here was the really big one with our boy Jordan and Slapdicks. He gave up Taylor Heineke, Levante David, 20 and a 2022 third rounder, and got back Justin Herbert, Christian Kirksey, and a 2022 eighth rounder. So, 2 great players, 2 starters, and, gave up, some pretty valuable 2022 picks, but, not a big deal. I'm sure he'll be able to recover from that. So how do you feel, Jordan?
Pretty good. I wanted to finally have a solidified quarterback on my roster, but of course, the first week I get him, he doesn't quite perform like he has been, and I take the loss. And then this week he's on a bye, so early returns, feeling kind of shitty, but I'll let him prove me wrong on that and see how it progresses in the weeks coming forward. I just got to scrap a win out with all these bye weeks.
Yeah, it's tough. Everybody's going through this. It's the biggest bye week of the week for the NFL. 6 teams on bye this week, so that's going to be the most for any week. So obviously this is a big week for a lot of people in fantasy, just trying to fill in gaps, especially with a lot of injuries too, which we'll get to here after this. But to keep moving on so we can keep the ball rolling because there are a lot of trades. Next one that went down was you again, Jordan. You gave up Deontay Johnson and Tremaine Edmonds.
No,
that didn't go through?
That didn't go through, yeah. I got countered.
That's weird. Oh, yeah, because, it went through, but then you had to redo it. Okay, that's why it's showing up here.
Yeah.
So the next one then was with myself and Beg for G-Reg, BP. I gave up Devontae Booker, which was, my waiver pick, which is really what he wanted. He really just wanted my waiver pick, and we used it on Booker. And a 2022 fourth. And I got back Zach Moss and a 2023 second rounder. So for me, again, I'm just trying to acquire picks any way I can. And Zach Moss was really just like a throw in for that because he had 3 running backs already. But for him, it was a bye week thing. BP trying to stay on top, trying to get that 1 seed. Didn't want to take a week where he didn't have a running back. So Zach Moss, I guess he's on bye this week, but whatever week his starter, Devontae Booker is his fill-in. So he wants Devontae Booker to fill in this week for Dalvin Cook. So, that's why he did it. And then the next trade I see here
Wish I could have got that. No.
Yeah, I know you need a running back yourself this week because of buys and injuries.
At least catching him without Dalvin Cook in the lineup.
And then the next trade here is Steel Curtain and once a janitor. This was another blockbuster here, another huge player on the move. Steel Curtain gave up Jalen Waddle, 2022 first rounder, a 2022 second rounder, and a 2022 fourth rounder, and another 2022 fourth rounder, all for Austin Eckler. So shout out to our guy Pat here for running up the price on that. Him and Cody were in a bidding war for a good minute there. And Pat finally saw when he just couldn't match it anymore.
Actually, that's not even true. I went back to Will. I sent him a message right after that and say, hey, I'm willing to offer you picks for 2023 too. And like at that point, he's like, no, I'm just done. Like he was like, I don't want to deal with the counters anymore.
Man.
Yeah, I
broke
guess,
him.
If it was like a much better deal, I guess by league rules he would have had to accept it, even if he was mentally exhausted from all the counters. Like, I was saying too, like he had I don't see there was a rush. Like, what some people might need to think about is after you accept a counter, you still have 24 hours from that counter, so you don't have to rush the counter. If you want to tell people, hey, I need a few hours to take a breath, I'll text you tomorrow. You got 24 hours, so use them. You don't have to make it right away. Obviously, it helps if you're trying to get the trade through as quick as possible. But, if you're once a janitor, don't sell your best player, arguably. Well, not arguably, his best player for sure, without getting the most you can. So hopefully, it still works out for him. But I'm surprised to hear that. So nice inside scoop there from Pat.
Yeah, it was a wild time, man. In fact, in the process of all this, I texted Cody. Anyway, I'm going to have to go. I was halfway joking, but I was serious at the same time. and I'm sure he laughed at it too. I'm scrolling through my phone right now. Here it is. It was I just randomly texted him. I was like, I want you to know, I'll sell my goddamn soul if it leads to me getting Eckler. So watch out.
Yeah. A lot of
remember him
sold
mentioning
this
that
week,
to me.
I know Eddie was out there selling his soul for a linebacker, so
yeah,
a lot of souls on the market this week.
Yeah.
But to keep it going here, the next trade we have is between Two Girls One Cup and Hunter Champions. Two Girls One Cup gave up Malcolm Jenkins, and Hunter Champions gave up Micah Hyde, who ended up getting back from CJ originally, and a 2022 third. So really just trying to upgrade at safety for him. And for Two Girls One Cup, it looks like probably just trying to recoup some of those picks he's been giving up recently. So a decent move for both teams, for sure. The next one here is between the Spurs and Jiu-Jitsu Jesus. This was a pretty big trade in itself, even though I know one of the names in it is going to be household, but he's giving up Joe Schobert and a 2022 second for Alex Singleton and a 2022 fifth. So Alex Singleton's been great this year. He was even pretty good last year, just a little under the radar, but having a great year this year, and just shows you that IDP isn't all about like the big names. There's some really great guys. And, if you think about a lot of great guys that were taken in waiver wire draft or, just late in the draft. So, for people that are listening, definitely pay attention during the waiver wire next offseason because you can get some great players. There's somebody else we'll talk about here in a bit that also got traded for big time assets. So the next one here I see is between yourself again, Pat, and Slapdicks. You gave up Cortland Sutton, 2022 third, and a 2022 fourth for Myles Gaskins and Calvin Ridley. So, I know Gaskins didn't perform the way you wanted last week at all. That might be tough, but hopefully Ridley turns it around, and I think he will.
Yeah, no, I had offered just a straight third and Sutton for Ridley, and he was like, well, what can I get more for Gaskin? And if I remember right, I think he wanted a first round pick involved in that. I was like, I won't do that. I'll just take our original thing. And then that's when he did the fourth. I was like, all right, whatever. Like, he'll be my backup running back this week. Well, he freaking fell apart, man. Like, he had 5 rushing attempts, which actually is on par for this year for him. But where it killed was the receptions. He only had 2 receptions for 5 yards. It's like they barely even used him in the game. It's wild. But I've actually thought about dropping him, but I'm like, who else would I pick up? So he's just there.
Yeah, he's a boomer bust guy for sure. So the next trade here is between Detroit Bad Boys and Abusement Park. Detroit Bad Boys gave up Ernest Jones in the 2022 fifth for Jeremy Chin. So, interesting trade. I guess, Abusement Park kind of didn't value Chin that much, and Detroit Bad Boys was looking for an upgrade at linebacker and wanted to get rid of a rookie that he had drafted that really wasn't doing anything. So, I don't know what the thing was there, but it was a pretty solid trade for both teams. The next one was between Levitard Lobos and the Steel Curtain. Levitard Lobos gave up Julio Jones, a 2022 third, and a 2023 sixth. Very interesting. 2023 sixth is getting thrown around already. Didn't even notice that. For DJ Moore and Kenneth Murray. So, again, two contenders here. I mean, I know Cody's record's struggling, but he's got a good team making a swap here. And I guess, Cody just trying to recoup some picks that he gave up in the Eckler trade. So he got back one of the third rounders that he gave up. So, good trade again for both teams, I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Cody's mindset was. We're just trying to recoup from what he just did in the other Eckler blockbuster. I know I was the other one trying to get DJ Moore from him, and he got a better deal. And I was
remember
going
that.
to up my the total trade actually gets pushed through. I already have DJ Moore in my starting lineup, and Patrick texted me, tells me, you got to send that back. Congratulations on the winner.
Jordan
That's rough.
So mad.
Yeah, especially in the starting lineup already. Jordan was so excited. He threw him in the lineup already.
I was like, we got to start making sure There are no more counters. Like
So bad.
I was sitting here roster baiting on my starting lineup. Like
It was so bad. I'll never forget that
But,
as long as I live.
To keep it going here, because I know there's so many trades and I know we're already running high on time. The Spurs gave up a 2022 first, a 2023 first for Denzel Perryman, and a 2022 second. So I want to say shout out to Matt. You know, I was one of the people that when I said he took Denzel Perryman in the waiver draft, I was like, that's so random. At first, it was a homer pick because he was a Panther, and now he's been traded to the Raiders, and he hasn't looked back, man. I mean, this is why we say people like pay attention during the offseason. My man Matt just traded, Step Bros Fantasy Coach just traded Denzel Perryman in the second for 2 first-rounders. So,
yeah,
especially one of them being a 2023. So, great for him. I know he's still getting his feet wet in the IDP department, but obviously that was a huge pick for him. Maybe a little bit lucky, but, that's all it takes sometimes. And he really made that one pay off. So I was surprised that much got given up, but I was a big fan of it. So.
Yeah, definitely a haul for Step Bros Fantasy Company. I like that for them.
Yeah, but Perryman's been an IDP stud, so if he can keep it up, I think it's a good trade for both. And then to keep it going here, the next one we have is another big one. So a lot of big ones. A lot of huge players got traded this week. We got Beg for G-Reg, gave up Devon White, a 2022 first and a 2022 third. And he sent that to Slapdicks for Buda Baker and a 2022 fourth. So my initial opinion on this was definitely selling low on Devon White. Definitely an IDP stud in his own right, and he gave up a lot just to end up swapping him for Baker and another pick. But if he really wanted help at safety and was super confident in his linebackers, I guess it's all about just getting that title any way possible. So I like the trade a lot. I just, I was like surprised to see Devon White be on the move in a trade for Buda Baker. I thought he might try to find a way to get Buda without giving up White. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, it was just interesting that I feel like Buda got countered for like 3 or 4 days. So it was
exactly. That was a big thing too.
I think he just probably broke the record for most counters for a player. Like I don't know if we've seen a player get countered so much.
Buda was the most wanted man in the LCC.
Yeah, which is surprising when you thought about like all the other guys that were out there, like Eckler and such. But that was crazy because if you think about it, me and Slapdicks made a counter that he had originally had with Peyton, literally at the last minute, like probably with like 1 minute on the left before like it was official. He posted it, and then out of nowhere, BP's like, "All right, well I'm back in this now. I'm gonna cut because within like 10 minutes of that, he had already made like another counter." So I was surprised that he didn't get it done the first time, but I guess BP, I gave you a little bit of a boost there by getting that other counter in because if I don't do that, the Peyton one becomes official, and we're seeing a totally different trade here. So crazy how that worked out, but it was fun to see. Like you said, it definitely broke the record for most counters. So we're almost done with all the trades here. There's a few more. The next one is between myself, the Mufasa Moneymakers, and Levitard Lobos. I gave up Zach Moss and a 2022 11th for Kenneth Murray. For me, I just don't give a crap. I was just looking to trade, honestly. So that was my take.
Wow. No.
Yeah, I was done. I just didn't have much value for Zach Moss. Like I told you, he was just throwing on another trade, and I just wanted to trade with Levitard Lobos. Alex is a pretty cool guy, and I was like, Kenneth Murray has some decent value, so I'll just give it a shot.
Yeah. Well, I'm feeling about the same way about Devin Singletary if anyone wants him.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, we can swap backup running backs.
Yeah, right. That'd be nice. And then I think the last one here that officially has gone through is Beg for G-Reg and 2 Girls 1 Cup. Beg for G-Reg gave up Jordan Hicks, and he got back Aziz Al-Shair, 2022 third, and a 2022 sixth. So Beg for G-Reg, honestly, I like what he's doing. Like he's getting the guys he needs and then giving up some of like his spare parts and recouping some of his picks. So he's not in like a huge hole next year. So, really interesting what he's doing this year, but I'm excited to see how it works out for him. He definitely has the best roster in the LCC when you're just looking on paper. But, so we'll see how that goes. And that's all the trades for this week, finally. That was a bunch, I know. So
is that all?
We are done.
Way to get those out. We definitely broke a record for trades in 1 week.
Yeah, I would
we?
say so. I don't know for sure.
I was about to say, I wonder,
I
like,
had
because
to.
I feel like every week it's like more and more. Like, I don't know what this league's gonna look like after the trade deadline. Like, no trades for like, I don't know how many months that is. Maybe 4 months straight. People are gonna lose
Well,
their
Yeah,
minds.
after the trade deadline to me is like that gap after Christmas where there's like nothing good until like, April basically. Like
Yeah,
when the spring comes, especially here in Connecticut where it's just cold and freezing all the time. Like that to me is what the trade deadline's like. It's cold and it's freezing and it's lonely and we just want some sunshine and some trades to come back around.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be tough for me. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself honestly because I send trades like all the time, especially in this league. It's so easy. But we'll see what happens. But just keep it moving. I'll just read the rest of what's on the in news quick. The injuries, some big ones this week, like we said earlier, which is a big reason that people are making deals for even just running backs that might be 1 week fillers or whatever. You got to win every game you can because you got Christian McCaffrey officially on IR right when we thought he might be coming back. He's out another at least 2 weeks now. Chris Carson also got put on IR, so he'll be out for at least another 2 weeks. And that's a big injury as well. You got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb and Baker Hunt all missing this Thursday night game tomorrow. I know Baker's not as big of a name, but Chubb and Hunt are both starters for 2 teams in the LCC, and both of them are really good running backs. So that's going to be tough to replace. Jordan, I know you're struggling with that right now.
Yeah, I am. But I picked up Dearness Johnson, who will be the only back pretty much in Cleveland, but unfortunately half his offensive line is out as well, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly game tomorrow night for sure. Yeah. I don't see it going any other way.
Yeah.
And then we got the Tay train, Latavius Murray banged up too, so we'll see what happens in that volatile Ravens backfield. I know there's a lot of old guys they have back there, but they've been getting the job done, and if one guy took all those carries, they could put up real fantasy value. So, or not all of them, but if they started taking more, because it's almost like a 3-headed monster right now.
Yeah.
They're splitting 3 guys pretty evenly. Even if they cut that down to 2, I could see 2 of those guys being pretty fantasy valuable. So no Tay train might be a big day for either Freeman or Le'Veon Bell. We'll see.
Yeah. It's got to be like the oldest running back duo in the league right now.
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And it's funny because they have Tyson Williams, a rookie, but they want no part of him. They're like, we want our backfield to just be like a 2016 Pro Bowl throwback.
Yeah.
But and then we have something to keep an eye on for tomorrow. I know a lot of people will be listening to this tomorrow, so maybe you can just go look. But it's a big score change week. There could be 3 matchups easily decided with the score changes. 3 games within 3 points. And
there's like 5 games that could be impacted by results.
Yeah, I was going to say the next one is there's 2 games within 10 points. So there's 3 games within 3 points, which could very, very easily be done, and then the 2 within 10 points, which still is a pretty good chance it could happen, but not as likely. So 5 games in total that could easily be decided by score change, and 3 that I think likely could. So we'll see how that goes. And then the last thing is 2 teams broke 280 last week. Nobody got to 300. Begford G-Reg got super close, but not quite. And then he went for 296, and Mr. 300, who I had the pleasure of seeing last week, went for 287. And Jordan actually got to see Begford G-Reg, so podcast got shit on hard by their opponents this week, I guess.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah. And that's it for the news and announcements for this week. I know that took forever.
Yeah, let's dive right into these this game of the week. You want to lead it off, Pat?
Yeah, let's do the game of the week. That came out, and we didn't have a sound drop, so that's what I did. I did it. I done did it. All right, game of the week. We've already announced it. Done did it. All right, it's already been announced on Twitter and within our league chat. But game of the week for week 7 is between the hash slinging. That Jordan, you want to do the sound effect for that from SpongeBob?
The hash slinging slashers.
That's perfect. Versus the primetime players. This honestly, any other week, this probably would not have made game of the week. But we had so many matchups, surprisingly, where it was either like 2 teams that have won like one or 2 games playing each other, or it was like a team that was practically undefeated playing against like a 2-win team. And so this is the closest we could get to a big one here. And I mean, primetime players, despite their struggles, is still very much in the playoff race in the conference in Conference A. And in fact, they could still win that division if Charles, if something, I never want to wish, anything bad on a player, but like let's say Zeke went down or something crazy. Well, that would change the game for Charles, because now at this point, there's very few 2 running back teams where someone's going to be willing to trade one away that's going to be relevant. So, you know what I mean? Like the odds of you finding a replacement for someone like that would be pretty slim. So anyways, this game is game of the week. We can go into some of the fun facts here of it. Primetime Players currently leads the series 1-0. Last time they played was week 4 of 2020 when Primetime Players won 171-129 in a pretty low-scoring game last year. I definitely do not expect it to be that low-scoring again. In fact, I think one of these teams would probably break 200. And then the other fun fact here, we got Hashling Slashers is on a 2-game winning streak, but the franchise longest for them is 5 straight, which they did in 2019 and Armando's rookie season in the league. So he's a lot to live up to there. But Daquan has made the playoffs 7 times, guys. But only one of those years did he make it without winning his division. So what does that say? That says he's got to win his division. Just from that, things tend to go better for him. And for anyone, right? If you win your division, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. So it's harder to make the wild card. But it's definitely harder now because, a couple years ago, it was 4 divisions, 2 conferences. Now it's 3 divisions, 2 conferences, which means that, 3 teams occupy the division winners, but then you're competing against the best for a wild card spot. You're not just getting in because you're in a weak division for the most part. So this is, this is a must win. I feel like I say that every week, but definitely for primetime players. Armando could really get away with losing this week if he had to and still be all right. Not that he wants to, I'm sure, but Daquan, I think this game probably means a little bit more. And then the last fun fact here, Armando has never started out 6-1 in his LCC career. So win this week would put him there at 6-1, his best start ever. And it used to be with 6 wins, you had like a 75% chance of getting a playoff spot. Now with 6 wins, because for those who don't know, it used to be a 12-week regular season, the LCC. This is the first season. It's been extended to 13 weeks, which means, if you get 6 wins, you're going below 500. I would say that your odds of getting a playoff spot now are probably more like 40-something%. You really need to get 7 wins probably to get you to that 75% chance of getting in. So 6-1, he's like 1 game away from almost, I don't want to say locking it up, but for the most part, locking up a playoff spot, at least wild card. His division is pretty close between him and Hunter right now. Of course, John has somehow stumbled his way to 2 wins, but that's pretty irrelevant, honestly. But I guess before we make our picks, guys, we can talk about what we're liking for each team this week at least, and we can start off with the Hashling Slashers. Again, he's 5-1 with Lamar Jackson at QB, Darrell Henderson at running back, Marquise Brown at receiver/tight end, Sebastian Joseph Day at defensive line, Fred Warner at linebacker, Kevin Byard at defensive backs, and at flex, he's got Leonard Fournette. And this was as of 4-something this afternoon, right? So I know Daquan's roster starting lineup was not set, so the graphic you'll see for him is not totally up to date after all the free agency moves this evening. But for me, guys, one thing that stands out, this is one of the few teams in the league who is flexing a running back. As valuable as running backs are in this league, and typically most guys are flexing a defensive player, and it's not because Armando's defense is bad by any means. It's that Leonard Fournette's having a good season. It's almost like he's revived his Jacksonville career in some ways.
Yeah, even more impressive is the production he's getting from Cordell Patterson. So he's really got a 3-headed monster at running back that he kind of gets to pick and choose his matchups.
It's tough for him. I know he's been trying to trade one of those running backs, trying to get an upgrade on defense a little bit, but Just hasn't found anything yet. But I mean, if you're gonna have depth at one position, running back would be the one you'd want of that. So, he doesn't have to rush in anything, but yeah, he's definitely got a three-headed monster.
Yeah. So if anyone's looking for one, it's Mondo.
Yeah. No, exactly. Armando's team, he has the good bit of depth, and when you're getting to the end or getting to the trade deadline, this is when you want depth because you can no longer trade for these pieces if you're a winning team. You've got to figure out through free agency, which is a lot harder. This isn't a fab league or first come first serve. This is a waiver wire league where it rewards the guys who don't make waiver wire moves. So if you're like me and you've been making them almost weekly, you're pretty much gonna be the back of the line, which means if a big guy gets hurt, it's gonna be near impossible to replace them at that point. So Armando's sitting pretty now with the depth that he has at running back compared to most teams, I'd say. Then we'll keep it rolling to our next team here with Primetime Players, who's 3-3. At the time, I really couldn't tell who the quarterback was going to be just because he had Baker Mayfield in, but he was ruled out already for this week. And I'm sure he knew that.
He scooped up Carson Wentz.
Yeah, so we got Carson Wentz at quarterback. He's got Khalil Herbert at running back at the moment. Who knows, maybe he puts Mark Ingram in. Receiver, he's probably going to be rolling with Sterling Shepard. He's the only other one he's got because Stephon Diggs is on a bye. Montez Sweat at defensive line, more than likely. And we've got Roquan Smith, a linebacker, of course. Like that's a given. Xavier McKinney at defensive back, and then a flex, Kari Willis, who's also defensive back. This is a team that's both banged up and suffering the bye weeks this week. So they're going to need some help. They're going to need some guys who traditionally may not explode to explode. And the guys who normally explode to keep doing that for them to have a good shot at winning this game. And one thing that stands out for me this week is Xavier McKinney going against Carolina. I'm interested to see how they use Kenny against Carolina because we've seen some teams who play the Panthers put their safety in the box a little bit more, and especially with Carolina, Matt Rule stating early on in the week that they're going to be pounding the rock more going forward. I think that says a lot. I think you're going to see Xavier McKinney rack up a good bit of tackles this week.
Yeah, I can see that. Hopefully that's Matt Rule just throwing everybody off.
Yeah, you never know. But I'm not too huge on Daquan's team this week. I mean, obviously McKinney's a good one, but I don't like either of his running back matchups, no matter who he starts. I mean, at Tampa, they're the best run defense in football, 2 years running. And then just Arizona, Houston's going to be trailing that whole game basically. So I don't see them running the ball like crazy. Carson Wentz at San Francisco is a tough matchup. And so I'm just not huge on his matchups this week. So, I guess that kind of tells you where I'm leaning matchup wise, but I'm not really feeling Daquan's team at first look. I mean, obviously I love Roquan Smith, and I agree with your Xavier McKinney take for sure. But other than that, I just don't like his matchups.
Okay.
Yeah, between bye weeks and injuries, it's going to be tough for him to pull this off.
Yeah.
So you're both going hashling slashers. I'm going to go slashers too.
Yeah.
Part of it too, and it didn't matter honestly if Baker Mayfield was hurt or not. A guy like Lamar Jackson's going to give him 40 easy, especially against Cincinnati this week.
Yeah.
So I talked earlier, I kind of alluded to this, that one team's going to break 200. It's definitely going to be hashling slashers. I'm not saying Daquan couldn't pull out an upset, but just the likelihood of it happening is probably pretty low. So I think I'm pretty conservative in my fantasy football picks and transactions and everything that I do in fantasy. So I'm going to have to go pretty easily here, Armando, in this one.
Yeah. And side note about Mondo's team too, which I guess really solidifies our take here, but he'll be adding Matt Judon here in about 20 minutes when our trade becomes official. And he's going to throw him in his starting lineup. And I think in a matchup against the Jets and Sam Darnold, or Zach Wilson, you can easily see a couple sacks. But even if not, he's been really consistent this year. He gets plenty of tackles still in the run game, and he's not just dependent on sacks. So
yeah, I think
I really like that addition from Mondo. He got a big, getting a good defense, like a consistent 20 plus point a game defensive lineman is definitely going to help him.
Joke's on you. I just made a counter. No, I'm just kidding. No, I didn't.
You do have about like 20 minutes. So.
No,
but yeah, so I do like that. Judon's actually been a top 10 defensive end this year. Just been really consistent, in the right system now. Bill Belichick, he just has him just playing really well. So
and he looks fire in those red sleeves.
He does. The guy with the red sleeves from the Pats is fire, according to Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep it moving to our other 11 matchups we got around the LCC.
Yep.
And as you can see on the screen, guys, there's a huge gap in wins and losses in some divisions. Some are very, very close. Some are extremely competitive just in terms of total wins for that division. One being Conference A West Division, definitely loaded this year. So much so that Peyton, at one point, I don't know if he was serious about it or not, was talking about he's like done with this year. Like he's willing to trade away his players for picks. And to me, I was shocked because like I get it. Your division's very competitive and catching Billy or BP is going to be very, very hard to do. But you got a good shot at getting a wild card. And we see it every year, man. There's just a team that peaks in the last couple weeks of regular season and goes into the playoffs and no one can beat them. I mean, perfect example, go look at Jameson's team. 12-0. The only time in my, I don't even know how, I've been playing fantasy football well over a decade now. And, I mean, I've never seen anyone in any league go undefeated before. Jameson did it, and guess what? His team did the exact opposite of peak. If he wouldn't go and look, he wasn't breaking 200 very often at the end of the year. And I think there were a lot of indicators that people should have caught on to is that his team was not playing like a 12-0 team going to the playoffs. And that's when that's the only thing that matters. How is your team playing when you get to that point? And so as long as you're in, man, if you're at the dance, you got a shot at dancing with, the prom queen. You just got to get there. You know what I mean? Like, so don't be the guy who sells himself short too early. I think that's a very silly move for anyone to do. I don't know if he was serious, but we'll get it going to our game here. I guess, guys, we're going to go back to how we did a couple weeks ago where each of us breaks down a matchup and then the others will just make their pick based off the breakdown. So if you want, I'll start it off. So that way you guys have time to look at your next two. But we're going to start it with Detroit Bad Boys versus New Orleans Voodoo. There is no history between these teams. They never met each other. They don't know each other. I don't even know if they know each other's last names. But John and Billy's teams could not be any more different at all. Like, I get it. New Orleans Voodoo exploded this week. His team seems to be either getting 200 or barely getting 100 week in, week out. There was no in between. He's the definition of that receiver that you plug into your lineup and you're like, this guy's literally not going to get a catch or he's going to have 200 yards. Like, I mean, it's that type of deal with John's entire team with New Orleans Voodoo. So for me, this is a pretty easy pick across the board here. And I hate to jinx anyone because I feel like sometimes when I say that I do. But John's got Devin Bush on a bye, his best linebacker. He's got to plug Zach Wilson back into the starting lineup, which blows. He's got Josh Jacobs back, which is great, I guess. But, I don't know, man. I mean, he even admitted to it in the group chat about, kind of just tanking, but he's not done a good job at tanking. It's like someone says, yeah, I'm trying to suck on purpose, but you're not even doing a great job at sucking. So I don't know what to call that. Detroit Bad Boys, on the other hand, very few guys out that are, going to cost him. He's going to lose Cameron Hayward and Minka Fitzpatrick, who are both on bias. Christian McCaffrey's on IR, like Mafali said. But this team has so much depth that it really does not matter. I think they get an easy win here, guys.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even know if Voodoo will get his lineup set, so I'm rolling with Bad Boys.
Yeah, same. So that's an easy one.
Okay. Who's doing the next matchup?
Jordan can do that one.
Which one are we on?
We are now on Beg for G-Rag versus Jiu-Jitsu Jesus.
All right, I just can't see the background.
Oh, you're talking about the history between them?
Oh no, I just couldn't see like the screen you were displaying, so I'm on the site looking at it.
Okay.
But yeah, so we got Jiu-Jitsu Jesus versus Beg for G-Reg. This is a decent matchup. I feel like Matt gets kind of lucky with the bye weeks. Dalvin Cook is out. He torched me last week, so that helps. Right now, really don't know what Beg for G-Reg is doing at quarterback. He's got Josh Allen, I believe, on his taxi on his bye week, and instead of picking up a backup, he swooped in and picked up Mr. Deshaun Watson after all the trade speculation started swirling this afternoon. So I assume he decides to pick up somebody that's actually playing Sunday, and he's just hoping to hear some news and Watson in between little spurts. But right now, it's not looking good if that's all you have at quarterback. But overall, I think I'm actually gonna take Matt to win this game. And it's because even if he goes and gets a quarterback off a waiver wire, I don't know who it's going to be. I think there's Case Keenum's left out there. If you guys know anybody off the top of your head, but so I just don't know who he's going to play. And
I think Deshaun Watson gets traded and starts by Sunday. So
yeah, if that happens, beg for G-Reg by 100, he's going to win the championship.
Yeah, exactly right.
But
a very interesting move there. That was awesome. I love to see it though. Maybe he thinks something's gonna, start popping off soon. I know there were the reports, but
that's
you're working in with a limited time frame.
I don't
because so what would be the league rule if he just said, I'm not starting a quarterback this week. I just want to hold on to Deshaun to see what happens.
Well, I mean, technically, everyone's got 2 free weeks where if you don't want to switch your lineup, the third strike's when you're out. So I mean, he could afford to not set it. I mean, he's got enough wins too where sure, he's I'll take a backseat to the division. I know I'll make the wild card more than likely. But I think that's a very silly move, and the fact that sure, Deshaun Watson get traded, but we don't know exactly when that's going to happen. And if he does go to Miami, I disagree with Folly. There's no way he starts in the first week. I get it. He's a
that was sarcasm.
Oh, okay. I thought you were serious. I was like, this dude hasn't even seen the playbook. Yeah, okay. I was like, there's no way. He's not going to be playing probably for maybe 3 weeks. Even if it happened tonight, I don't know if we see him until 3 weeks from now actually starting. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know if the NFL will let it happen. But
no, I don't either. And the fact that I don't know. I guess he's doing it maybe as trade bait, but me, if I'm a guy who's desperate for a quarterback, I'm like, nah, I'll just let you cut him. So you're gonna do it eventually. Yeah. So
yeah, well, I mean, you're really restricted because unless they put him on the IR or something like that, you can't hold him on your roster because you have to have a quarterback unless you want to just eat up 2 or 3 strikes and just hope that you by the third time he either starts or you can trade him or something. Yeah. But it's way too risky because there's no guarantee. And I've been saying it the whole time. Even if he gets traded, I don't see him playing at all. So NFL won't let it happen. I don't care about the fact that they haven't said anything yet. That's just because they don't have to. When they get put in a situation where they think they have to, they will. They'll step in, and he's not going to play until that court case is settled for him. So
yeah, it makes my projection even harder because I forgot Beg for G-Reg was the one that landed Buddha, so that does make his lineup a little bit better once he plugs him in.
Yeah, I'm going Beg for G-Reg regardless. I mean, I think whoever he fills in at quarterback can be solid enough, and the rest of his team will just go off like they have been. So
yeah, well, I'm going to say between not having a running back and not having a quarterback, Beg for G-Reg is still the better team, and he's going to go on to the playoffs, but I'm going to say this is probably, I don't know if you want to consider it upset of the week or whatever, just an upset in general.
Yeah, I would consider it an upset still. I mean, he does have a running back, and I mean, it might be controversial here, but I think it's a killer matchup against a team that's kind of been exposed.
Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how he's going to do.
Yeah, no, Devontae Booker's a nice fill-in, I think. I think he could do a lot worse than that for sure. At least he's got a guy he knows is going to get a lot of carries.
Yeah.
He's their number one now that without Saquon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for him. There's been cases where Zeke goes for 200 against Carolina, and Alvin scores 8 fantasy points against Carolina. So.
Yeah. For me, I've got to go. I'm going Jiu-Jitsu Jesus here in the upset. It's a very intriguing matchup, and that is essentially like a professional boxer fighting like a 15-year-old kid, with a hand tied behind him. Like obviously any day of the week, the professional boxer is going to win this, and the 15-year-old kid's going to get slapped around. But he's got one arm, so who knows? Maybe he gets a couple, free punches in there. I'm going Jiu-Jitsu Jesus. I think because of the buys and everything going on for, BP, I think Matt gets a upset win. All right, we'll roll it on to our next match here for Armando. Good guy. This is like the second week out of 3 weeks I've called Mafali Armando. Yeah, I don't know why I keep doing that, but it's Beeson Park versus Hunter of Champions, by the way, Mafali.
Yeah, what is going on?
I don't know. I need to stop doing crack on the show. No,
all right, so does somebody else want to do that one quick? I know it's supposed to be my turn, but I don't want to talk about my own matchup, though.
No, next one is Beeson Park versus...
You want me to take that one?
Yeah, you take that one, and I can like... Oh, okay. All right, I'll do that one, yeah. So, this one is a great matchup, honestly. This is a really, really good match. This was probably... I think this is what I said originally for matchup of the week, but I don't know why. Maybe because Hunter had it last week or something. We didn't want to go back-to-back. But this is actually a really great matchup in its own right. Great quarterback matchup. You got Kyler versus Mahomes. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that. Aaron Jones versus Darrell Williams at running back. I mean, to me, I definitely edge Aaron Jones there, but who knows what Darrell Williams can end up doing. He did punch it in a couple last week, so he could do the same. Then you got Devontae Adams versus Terry McLaurin, and they play each other's teams, so that'll be fun to watch. I mean, McLaurin's boom or bust in a sense, but I think this is a big boom week for him because the Packers are still missing Jair Alexander, and it's been tough for them to replace him. And Devontae Adams, I also see going off because Washington's been getting shredded lately in the passing game. Then DN, they have Shaq Barrett versus Jeron Hargrave. I'm going to go Shaq Barrett just because of consistency in that one. And, they're also playing Chicago, so, I think they'll get a few sacks. Linebacker, it's Foyesade versus Corey Littleton. Almost a split to me, honestly. I'm not really going to get too in-depth on that. I would just say a split. Cameron Curl versus Isaiah Simmons. That looks like the flex. I'm going to lean slightly Isaiah Simmons, but that also could be tough. Simmons has kind of struggled after a hot start. Just hasn't really been able to get back over 30 points after the first 2 weeks going off for 50 and 40. So we'll see what he does. And then the last one, Malcolm Jenkins versus Justin Reed. And I'm definitely going Malcolm Jenkins there. That's pretty easy. Malcolm Jenkins is a beast. He's been really consistent in IDP now for years. And until further notice, even though he's 33, he's still a beast. So I'm going to go with Hunter Champions in this one. Just because of defense. I think defense is really kind of where he sets it over the top.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Hunter Champions as well, but I think both these teams go over 200 points this week.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This will be one of our higher scoring matchups. So one of the teams is going to feel bad at the end of the week. Like, I had a good week, but still lost. So
yeah. I'm going Abusement Park here, actually. Over Hunter of Champions. I like the running back matchup a little bit better, or not a little bit, a lot better for Abusement Park. And I think his defense can keep pace with Hunter, actually. That's who I'm going to go. So I guess I've got the next matchup here between Burrow's body count versus the third leg. This is a game where Burrow's body count, this is a team that's kind of struggled off and on throughout the year, whereas the third leg, Charles's team, has really blossomed in this season and has looked great. One of the better teams in this conference and one of the better teams in the league. But they are dealing with a couple of buys, one being Zeke, Chase Claypool, Micah Parsons, Eric Kendricks, Terrell Edmonds, which is like almost the entire starting lineup, versus Burrow's body count, who's really not suffering too bad. He's losing Van Der Esch and Anthony Brown, but Anthony Brown's not a huge loss. For me, it's the bye weeks are really what's going to kill Charles, and I think because of that, I've got to go Zach in this matchup. And there's no history between these teams either. In fact, there's no history between any of the teams that we've talked about thus far.
Yeah. So you done breaking it down?
Yeah. Sorry, I should have made that more clear.
Yeah. I'll lean Burrows with upset as well, and it's not. I don't think overall he is the better team, but like you were saying with the buys and things,
Yeah.
losing Zeke, I I think everything is the right recipe for Charles to take his first loss of the season. That still doesn't mean his team's not amazing, but even so, it's better to go ahead and get a loss out the way, in my opinion. But I'll take Burrows, giving him his first one, and see where Charles can go from there. What do you think on that one, Steve?
Is he here?
Yeah, did we lose Steve? All right, I don't know. We'll
Oh
go.
no, sorry, I'm here, guys. I'm here. It was
Okay.
it wouldn't let me unmute myself. I had
Who
to
you
mute
got
myself.
between Burrows and third leg?
Yep. No, I was saying I think I'm going Burrow's body count as well because I just don't like his matchup for Melvin Gordon this week, and just not huge on. I don't know what is going on with Nick Bosa and Jalen Phillips in the lineup together, but
Yeah, the buys are hitting him heavy. I know he's going to add Leonard Floyd to that starting lineup, but still.
okay, so that does make a little bit of a difference then, yeah, for sure. So yeah, either way though, I'm gonna go with Burrow's body count. I think Charles finally his and honestly, and when we talk about Jameson, if you're Charles, you probably want this winning streak to end at some point. Nobody wants to ever go into a fantasy playoffs undefeated or like that because eventually you're gonna lose. It's just fantasy,
Yeah.
You're bound to lose eventually.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
probably just wants to get that first one out of the way, and it's not like it's gonna hurt him too much.
What's the next one I'm breaking down, Pat?
It's actually ours truly, Mr. 300 versus Mufasa Moneymakers, in a winless team versus a team that's fighting for a playoff spot this offseason. They've played each other, by the way, 6 times, and currently Mr. 300 leads the series 4-2. Last time y'all played was week 4 of 2019, where Colby won 238 to 198.
Yeah, and I'll hit the breakdown on this. But yeah, so you got Colby with having a quarterback, Dak. I believe he's got Dak, right?
Yes.
Yeah, on his bye week. So he picked up Tua. Also the moneymakers in Mufali over here put Trevor Lawrence on their taxi during his bye and picked up old starter Geno Smith with the Seattle Seahawks. So
Love
it's
it.
definitely a battle of backup QBs this week in this game.
Love it. I love Geno. I was so excited that I got to start Geno Smith this week. Just to say that I got to start Geno Smith. Like I'm a big Geno Smith fan, and I was happy I got to start him this week. I thought somebody might use a waiver on him, but when I saw him there, I was like, I got to snag my boy. I've been hyping him all year. This is going to be the only week I can start him because I can't drop Trevor, and I won't drop Trevor no matter how many interceptions he throws.
Can't drop, won't drop.
Can't drop, won't drop.
So,
Well, yeah,
can't drop, won't drop.
this is really interesting though. But
keep going. Sorry, Jordan.
Yeah, Mr. 300 has Keenan Allen on a bye week and Joey Bosa on a bye week. So 2 tough replacements. I'm guessing he's going with Leonard Williams and Michael Pittman. So still a overall solid roster when you factor in how Jonathan Taylor's been playing for him. I would like to lean the moneymakers to get their first win, man. But I just don't. Where are you going at wide receiver? Like you're not gonna have anyone to play there, and Geno, I don't trust it against the Saints on a Monday night. So I'm gonna say Colby and Mr. 300 takes it with Tua putting up a pretty decent day against the Falcons.
I like that. Yeah, for my wide receiver, I'm kind of waiting. I don't think I'm going to take my first strike and not set my lineup with a wide receiver, but I did pick up Rashad Penny, who I love, but I'm kind of stuck right now. I don't want to drop him for a wide receiver, but he doesn't play till Monday. So if I can't make a move to get rid of somebody else to clear up some roster space, which I'm hoping to do, but you never know, then I'll have to end up cutting him for a wide receiver, just a random one. It'll be somebody either Sunday night football or Monday night football. I'll just pick up whoever, and obviously I want to win, but I just don't think this is the week for me anyways, regardless of who I get at wide receiver this week. Because Colby's team was just so good, even though he does have a lot of buys, which helps me a good bit, but he has some good replacements. Leonard Williams has actually been really, really good this year. Super consistent from the D-line. And, pretty good matchup against you guys. I know I've heard Jordan and Daquan say a few times that the Panthers O-line needs some work. So I could definitely see Leonard Williams being a perfect replacement for Joe. Actually, he's outscored Bosa most weeks this year. So probably just a good time for him to finally get Leonard Williams in the lineup. And we'll see about the rest. But I just love his defense. They're so consistent, and they go off most weeks. So I'm going to go Colby regardless of who I end up starting at wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm going Colby too, actually. Another team that's kind of, fighting with their hand tied behind them. And so I think because of that, this game will actually be relatively close, but not in the kind of close you want it to be where it's high scoring, where it's like, kind of low scoring. But I think I hate it for him, man. I want you to get your first win soon so you don't break that streak of longest losing streak. Did we mention that you're tied for the 6th longest in league history?
No, we had left that off till now, but I guess we had to slide that in, huh?
Yeah, if Mafali loses this week, he will be tied for the 2nd longest losing streak in league history. And we had mentioned this earlier in the year. Cody had tied 2nd, so he'd be tied with Cody. And if you lose again, then you surpass Cody, but still not first because the longest is 11 weeks. You're not quite there yet. But yeah, I'm going Mr. 300.
Yeah,
here.
no, I mean, I don't want to get that. I was hoping to get that first win before the trade deadline, but doesn't look likely here because the trade deadline's next week. So
yeah.
All right though. I got to go winless, and I got to go winless, but it'll just motivate me even more for 2022 and beyond.
That's right.
Like the attitude.
You got to stay positive.
Believe, baby.
Believe.
All right,
Lasso.
Mafala, you got our next matchup between Give Me More and the Spurs. Do you have the history pulled up, or do you mean to say it?
Yeah, can you say it? Because I don't have it pulled up.
Yeah, I've got it right here. So they've played each other a decent amount, Cameron and Jameson. And going into the season, like this was a game I looked at the calendars like, ooh, this could be game of the week. And no, it couldn't be further from the truth. Couldn't be further off the mark there. They played each other. Actually, I was wrong. They've only played each other 3 times. Jameson, I think, has been in the league for almost 10 years now. They've only played each other 3 times. Jameson is on a 3-game losing streak. If he loses, it'll be a 4-game losing streak, one of the longest losing streaks in franchise history for Give Me More. Last time they played, Cameron won in the playoffs of 2020 and just totally destroyed Jameson's dreams after going undefeated in the regular season and beat him 241 to 193. If there is a game that Jameson wants to win this year, it's this one. I mean, first of all, you'll rub it in Cameron's face that your crappy little team beat his team that looks like they're going to the playoffs. But then on top of that, you're getting a little bit of revenge from him, disrupting your perfect season from last year. The last time Jameson won was week 4, 2016, when he won 168 to 167. I want to say that was a stat change. Cameron probably remembers, or Jameson probably remembers. But, this is going to be one of those games where I just don't think it's going to be close. But I guess I can break it down a little bit to explain why for those at home who may not totally be familiar with these franchises. But Jameson, for those that don't know, Give Me More, his team, they traded away almost every asset they had besides Patrick Queen, which I don't even know if you could call an asset anymore, for draft picks to build for 2023 and 2022. The Spurs has done the opposite. He has been building a bigger and better roster each week, I feel like. And he's only losing Jeron Curse this week. Jeron Curse for Dallas, which is not a big loss in my opinion. Jameson's side, though, he is losing Marvin Jones on a bye, not a big loss there, and Xavier Woods on a bye, and that one does kind of hurt. So for this one, gentlemen, I don't think I can go against Cameron. I think this should be a very easy win, although I do think this is one of the better weeks Jameson's had in a while because of some of the guys he's got in his lineup at the moment.
Yeah, well, Were you breaking this one down, or was Steve breaking this one
Oh
down?
shit! Oh God, sorry. No, that was supposed to be
That's all right.
Steve. All right, I already broke it down.
We'll
You get the
just give
next one.
Steve the next one.
Yeah, we'll give you the next. My bad.
Yeah, that's fine. Exactly. Keep going.
I'll take Cameron. And
yeah, I'm taking Cameron too, though, just to
yeah.
get mine out of the way. Like
Rebuild
you can break
continues.
down. You can break down a little more if you want, but yeah, I'm going Cameron.
No, that was
Yeah.
it. That was the breakdown. That was it. I forgot that I wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah,
one.
yeah, he's stacked. Cameron's team is stacked, man. I mean, he's fully loaded. Got nobody really major on by. Like, yeah, Cameron should win this one pretty handily.
I was with him my birthday weekend, and he is very adamant that this is his year and that he will three-peat. I mean, like, he said it multiple times after those trades. It's like, this is my year. I'm going to be the first one to win 3 in a row. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that transpires.
We'll see.
But it looks like you've got the next one now, Mafale, which is, I'm pulling it up here, Labatard Lobos versus Afternoon Delights.
Oh, perfect one for me to have here.
They have played each other,
I like this matchup a lot.
Week 9,
I mean,
2020. Jordan won 210 to 136.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Lebatard's Lobos is in for some revenge this week then. I mean, the big thing for me is obviously Jordan's missing his quarterback that he just got, and, he's got Teddy Bridgewater. I just think it's going to be a sloppy game Thursday. Maybe the Broncos just end up slinging it, but I just think it's going to be a low-scoring, sloppy game in general. And then also with Jacoby Myers, I do like him a lot, but it just he does get a lot of value. It's just like, who knows what's going to happen. The Patriots passing game can be so hit or miss, though they've been improving week to week. But Jordan's defense obviously is great. Brian Burns, Christian Kirksey, Devondre Campbell, Jamal Adams, it's a great defense for sure, but it's tough because on the other side, Lobos, though he does have Danielle Hunter on by, he still has Jadeveon Clowney, CJ Mosley, Taylor Rapp, and Amani Hooker. Hooker actually just came back last week and had 50. So in his 2 games this year, he's had 30 and 50. So it looks like, and something I didn't mention earlier because I wasn't, breaking down Mondo's team. Well, I guess I kind of was when we did the thing, but I didn't get to mention it. That I'm not actually huge on Kevin Byard anymore because he hasn't been getting as many tackles. And it looks like Amani Hooker might be their new safety that's eating up the tackles because he just has played so well in his 2 games. And even when he was out, his replacement, Cruikshank, was getting a bunch of tackles. So it just looks like that defense is set up for that safety to be getting all their tackles. But and then I just think where the difference is for me is on offense. Jordan just struggled. He had to replace his quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. So his whole offense he had to replace this week. Whereas Lobos is fully set. I mean, Gibson might miss, and if that does happen, I don't like Michael Carter at New England, but I still think Matthew Stafford against Detroit, huge game probably. Just besides the fact that Detroit sucks, he's probably just going to want to destroy them just for making them since they wasted like the first 10, 12 years of his career. He's going to want to make up for that. And then, DJ Moore against the Giants. I mean, I just think that's a pretty solid matchup too. So I'm going to give this one to Lebatard Lobos.
Boo. No.
Sorry, Jordan.
I'm gonna me and my ragtag bunch of delights go in there and take the win.
Oops. There we go. Sorry, I had myself muted.
What say you, Patrick?
I've got to go. Jordan, I really like your team this week. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm going Alex in this. And then also, I'm going to give my wife a shout out really quick as I'm watching her do dishes as I'm recording this podcast and working at the same time. So thank you to my lovely wife, Maria, who owns me in fantasy football. No, we'll keep it rolling since we got our picks in for Jordan's game. Unanimous, Alex. Maybe it's the kiss of death. Maybe it's not. We'll have to find out. Our next matchup here, though, is Two Girls, One Cup versus Once a Janitor. Yes, this is. I think this is your breakdown, Jordan, since I kind of screwed the order up earlier.
Yeah. Is this me breaking this down?
Yeah.
All right. So we got golf against the Rams, which I hate. about like the last one. I feel like the Rams defense will try to assault Goff to try to help Stafford look better. So I definitely like Carr against the Eagles more. You got Mixon against Baltimore and Swift against the same style Rams defense. I'd probably lean edge Mixon on that, but you never know with them. Tyler Boyd in that same offense versus Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle finally comes on last week with multiple touchdowns. So I think he's plugging in, especially with Thielen on by, he's plugging him in, hoping he's found something with Tua. And it's possible that he does playing against that Atlanta defense. They're not too great. We got Austin Johnson at defensive tackle, and I don't know much about him. I see he's playing my Panthers. I can't honestly give a great breakdown of him, but I know we will be trying to run the ball, so that could bode well for a defensive tackle to eat up some like cheap tackles. But Jonathan Allen going against Green Bay. Then you got Jordan Hicks going against Houston, which is a decent matchup. He is questionable though, so I guess you'd want to keep an eye on and see if he played. And Demario Davis going against the Seahawks. I like that. Troy Reader going against the Lions, and then Kareem Jackson going against the Browns on the Thursday night game. Eric Harris going against the Dolphins, and Jaquinis Tark going against the Colts. So that's all their matchups. And overall, I'm going to lean one to Janitor, and mostly because of that quarterback matchup, I feel like Carr will play better. And I'll go on board till I see it different. That maybe Jalen Waddle will start to get a bigger target share in Miami, especially if Devontae Parker misses again this week. So I'll say once a Janitor beats two girls, one cup this week.
Mafala, you want to do yours next, or say who you're picking next?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with two girls, one cup actually. So
nice. Yeah, there's some.
I'm just gonna go with him. I've been picking him most weeks, so I'm just gonna keep it going. There's really no take behind that.
Yeah,
shout out to Eddie.
Yeah, you know what? Good job on Eddie. Like he's one of the most active people on Twitter. Like he's done everything he can to revive this franchise that was an abysmal situation at one point. And so good on him to making this team very competitive. It sucks though that he's currently sitting at 1-5 and trailing his division by 2 games. And the way that things are shaping up Conference B for the wild card race, he's more than likely playing for the division versus a wild card spot, which really sucks because Alex's team is actually very good, who's currently in first place, like I had said earlier. But, for me, it may sound a little crazy. I'm going to go with the upset in 2 girls, 1 cup. And it's because I think Tyler Boyd and the Bengals are going to be very busy offensively trying to keep up with Baltimore this week, which bodes well for him and Joe Mixon. And you know what? I think Jared Goff looks at this and says, hey, I'm going to go get revenge against my Rams, my old team. And who knows, maybe we see another 50-something point game. I doubt it, but I do think it's going to be better than what it has been for him lately. So I'm going to go 2 girls, 1 cup in the upset here. And I'm going to save that because I will definitely forget that I made such a silly little pick later on because I'm probably going to regret that. But I'm sticking to my guns. I really do think 2 girls, 1 cup gets an upset and maybe even a shot at competing for that division. So let's see. I guess I do have the next matchup here, which Eastside Brawlers versus the Steel Curtain. There's a good bit of history here. They've both been in the league since day one. 2 OG GMs in the league. They've played each other 6 times in the past. This will be the 7th. And guess what? Eastside Brawlers has won every single matchup that they have played. I'm not going to run through every single matchup, but I guess I can tell you the closest one was back in 2012 in Week 6 when Eastside Brawlers won 101-99, back when scoring was very, very different. They never played each other in playoffs before. But another fun fact, they have played each other in Week 7 before, which was 2013, where Eastside won 153-104 in a blowout. So, guys, I don't see Eastside continuing this streak when I break this down. I mean, Cody has reloaded. He's on a 3-game win streak. He started at 0-3 and is now 3-0. And this is a team that I'm worried about in my conference competing against for the wild card race. Eastside, though, has been kind of up and down all year. Has gotten lucky in the couple games that he's won. Steel Curtain has Austin Eckler, TJ Watt, and Derwin James to buy, though. So you have to imagine that plays in favor of Eastside. DJ Dallas has moved up on the depth chart, but I don't know. I haven't kept up with the running back situation there with the injury report to see what Chris Carson is like if he's healthy. But I don't think it matters. I really think I think Steel Curtain still gets the win this week, even with the bye weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to take Steel Curtain as well. I think you broke it down pretty well.
Yeah, I wanted to go Steel Curtain here, but now I'm going to have to go with Eastside Brawlers just because I got to mix it up here.
We actually got a special guest that just walked in the room.
Oh, really?
Don't move, Ollie. That is so rude. I literally just put in the group chat. Everybody doubting me. My team's on fire. Don't doubt me, dog. Don't doubt
No, I'm not doubting you. There's really no rational decision here. It's just like they went with you, so I'm going with Eastside Brawlers because sometimes I just like to go against the grain.
Yeah, just be different. I feel you. You like to be a loser. It's okay.
Cody, did he hear that historical stat, though, that I said about you?
No, I did not.
He missed that part.
You're 0-6 against my dad.
This is a big one for you.
This is big.
Man, he caught me on a decent week, too.
Yeah, I know he did.
Now it's starting to creep in.
No, I think I got him. Well, it depends on, I've made some waiver wire moves for a running back, but I still feel really good about my lineup overall.
Yeah. You'll have to listen to this podcast later to hear about our bidding war that we had for Austin Eckler last week.
Dude, I've been waiting. Honestly, it was kind of disappointing that the LCC late night or after dark or whatever it's called didn't talk about it at all.
Yeah, they did. They just kind of swept that one under the rug, surprisingly.
Yeah, and that was the biggest. They were talking about Buddha, but I felt like that was the one that I feel like that Buddha one is just kind of small increments, whatever you prefer type thing in terms of what offer he's taking. But me and you were definitely upping each other each time.
I don't know if I told you this, but I offered him even a first-round pick for the following year, and he was like,
"No." I wouldn't have done that.
He was like, "No, I'm tired. I don't want to do any more counter offers." We literally wore him out to the point where he wasn't interested in taking counters anymore. It's like, all right, that's fine.
Dude, I messaged him the last one I offered him. He was like, "Dude, it's done." He was like, "I'm just gonna take this." He was like, "I don't know if I can do anymore." And I messaged him back, and dude, he was just I'm genuinely, I'm done. You won. And I was really excited. And I was just man, I know,
man.
Patrick literally just sent me back and he was like, "I'll sell my soul." So in my mind, I'm just is this my soul? Or is this my soul? What's happening right now?
I was literally about to offer him a first through third in 2023 if I had to do it. I was going to give it all.
Let's go to the next projection after you guys chopped it up about your individual bid war.
We did. We that was a deep dive. That was a TED talk.
I'll give y'all some fucking. I'll get in on these picks.
There's 2 more.
Okay, we got 2 more.
So what we got left?
We got all right.
Cody can take my next one.
Okay, Cody, are you prepared to do a breakdown?
Cody will break down the next one and place.
I'll break down every single one of them.
Which one is it?
It's bringing Rexy back for Step Bros Fantasy Company.
Dude, this is actually a really intriguing matchup, in my opinion. Like, both rookies and everything of that nature. But I felt like both didn't inherit great rosters, and they've done really well with what they have and kind of surprised some people, especially like CJ. Like, I don't think I expected CJ to win a game at all. And this guy is sitting at a solid, 2-4, I think? And
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's better than what I thought his roster would be. Matt, man, and that guy is literally like made some really good moves in terms of offseason. Everybody looked at him and was just like, huh? That great. And I know everybody brings up the fact that but Mike Williams is one of those guys that nobody to do what he's doing. I'm probably going to end up going with Matt. Like, he's just got more like going on this week. I like his overall team. Khalil Mack will probably start this week for him as well. I would assume maybe he tries to go linebacker with him. I don't know what's up with Shaq overall. Maybe you Carolina Panthers fans know. He's not playing. He's not playing. So I would assume he tries to take Khalil Mack as that. But, like, I think he's just a little deeper overall, especially when the bye weeks are coming. And when CJ's losing James Robinson, and he's the one that's been – I feel like he's been carrying his team the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, he has.
But I'm going to go with Matt.
Me too. I'm going Matt.
Right. I'll also go with Matt.
Mafali, what you doing?
I got to take Matt, too. All
right. Clean sweep for Matt.
Oh, you don't have to change the blade over Matt, hey?
No, not all the time.
Just for you, buddy.
Not all the time.
All right, and then I believe our last matchup of the day is the Leprechauns themselves, correct?
Yep, that's right. Roebuck versus Slapdicks. And let me see if there's any history. We've played each other one time. 2019 Week 8. I won 258 to 219.
Yeah. All right. Well, Cody's going to hit us with another lovely breakdown for the last two of the night.
Honestly, this one's a little easier because they got their roster set and everything of that nature. Taylor Heineke and Jalen Hurts, you got to go Jalen Hurts. Just, he's been consistent. He gets the rushing. He's even, like, doing well in passing. If you go Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, like, I don't know what Latavius Murray's, like, status is in that backfield, but it's not, like, good in terms in this fantasy league. Like, he honestly makes me nervous, especially with Le'Veon Bell maybe coming on. So, like, I definitely have to go with Alvin. That's not even a question. But it just, like, concerns me that Latavius might not even get any points, like, that are, might not even get past 10.
He might not play.
Yeah, he might not play. But I like Calvin Ridley versus Mooney. That's obviously easy, especially Miami hasn't looked, fantastic on defense this year. If you're going to go the defensive line, like, I think this is a toss-up. Chase Young hasn't done extremely well this year. And, maybe this is where he makes up some moves because Chris Jones could, like, make some ground because Chris Jones can have a big day, and he's proven that. Like, he's done it a couple of times this year. If you're talking about guys that have upside, it's Devon White for sure. I think he's got a little more upside. Not a fan of Snead, but I think he can have a big day, especially, like, you never know what a, like, safety and a corner can do. But I would have to go Justin Smith over him just from proving it standpoint. And then I actually like Williams a little better than Thompson if you're talking about your flex guys. So, but overall, like, I think Pat's too strong. I think he's, like, his overall depth on offense is what's really going to, like, take him over the edge. I think defensively, Slapdicks is maybe a tiny bit better outside of safety. Like that's where you make up the ground, Pat. But I definitely still have to go you, man. I think you're going to be 6-1 after this week.
I hope so. I'm gonna pick myself too.
Yeah.
Hopefully I don't jinx it. I do think Slapdicks should
I'm
probably play
gonna
Portland
pick the Roebuck Leprechauns. I'm gonna pick y'all just to try to put the jinx into effect.
Jordan needs it.
I hate you.
Yeah. What do you got on that, Steve?
Yep, jinx in full effect.
Yep, jinx in full effect.
Jinx in
Let's go, Slapdicks.
Going with Roebuck.
Yep.
Oh man! All right, well that's it, guys. That's all we
And
got.
I believe that's a show for y'all.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got for week
Go
7.
Braves!
Go Braves! I don't even know what the score is right now. App State
The
Coastal.
football podcast.
Yeah, App State Coastal are going at it right now. It's a good game. Best of luck to everyone. Besides Big Ass. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, best luck to everyone, and we will catch you guys in week 8. See ya.
Also, can I say one thing before we go out?
Yeah.
Anybody that like betted against me, not betted against me, but
already missed it.
Did I?
I don't know.
No.
Hello?
Can you hear
I
me?
didn't. Okay, anybody that like in that LCC After Dark that picked against me, I feel like BP was real strong about me losing and stuff. Come talk to me after this week, buddy.
All right. Well, that's it. That's all we got, guys. We'll see you next week.